In 1912, all three presidential candidates were progressives. Theodore Roosevelt had been president in 1902. He had forced the coal mine owners to settle with the Union. He had stopped Hill and Harriman when they tried to monopolize the Western railroads. He accepted trusts as inevitable, but insisted the federal government regulate them. He denounced Woodrow Wilson's call for the limitations of federal power as the surest way to allow the employer to work his employees to death.
Mr. Wilson's speech today means merely the liberty of the factory owner who crowds his operatives into some crazy death trap on a top floor where if fire starts, the slaughter is immense.
Roosevelt was running as a progressive against the incumbent William Howard Taft. But Taft, too, ran as progressive. He claimed accurately that he had carried out more legal actions against the trust than Roosevelt ever had.
We must take up the abuses in the good old Anglo-Saxon way, adjust our statutory remedies to the fitness of the thing, place our confidence in the public servants who show themselves alive to public need, and courageous and energetic enough to prosecute the offenders to conviction.
Which brings us back to the beginning. Woodrow Wilson's campaign film, starring everybody's favorite villain, the fat capitalist. By 1912, the muckrakers had done their work well. Our villain carried on his back the accumulated sins of 1,000 trusts. He carried with him the stench of the tenements, the nameless miners who had been killed in his mine shafts, the hordes of farmers who had been dispossessed by his sheriffs, the anguished children who had collapsed at his looms, the army of politicians who were on his payroll. He was behind it all. If he could be regulated by law, the world would be a better and a happier place. And so Teddy Roosevelt said, let the federal government control him. And William Howard Taft replied, yes, but I can control them better than Teddy Roosevelt ever did. And Woodrow Wilson added, he's too fat, too big. Let us break him up into 1,000 smaller businessmen. Send me your dollars and I will bring forth the progressive world. For Wilson, too, preached the progressive litany.
That the night labor of women and children is abnormal and should be prohibited. We hold that the employment of women over 48 hours per week is abnormal and should be prohibited. We hold the 7-day working week is abnormal. We hold that 1 day of rest in 7 should be provided by law.